Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther Madeira Johnson. Today I just want to start by apologizing. I know it's been a few weeks, 2 weeks actually. There were things that were happening in my family, so yeah, I just want to apologize for not posting anything, but at the same time we want to thank God for the gift of life. So without wasting any of your time, there's something that I've always wanted to talk about. You know, I've been talking about how I was single for a very long time and the things that I learned when I was single. You know, before you get into a situation, you sort of don't really know. You don't have the facts. In Shona we say muzibe wenzira mufambi wayo. So if you haven't been on a road, you won't know the road. So until I became a single mother, that's when I began to understand a lot of things. But the thing that I want to talk about today is those kids that are raised by those single parents. That's my focus today. I've been thinking about this for a little bit of time now because I raised a son and there's so many things, so many things that I wish I knew. I wish somebody had told me when my son was still very young. I think I would have done a better job. I mean, listen, single parents, kudos to you. Single father, single mother, you are doing great already. But there are things that we miss in trying to be father, mother. There are things that we miss. And from the few things that I've learned, that's what I just want. I actually want to just sort of bring awareness. Somebody out there, we all know, have lived with, or we know people who have been single parents. We know these kids raised by single parents. So the things that I honestly wish I knew is the emotional and mental battle, I would say, these kids go through. You can imagine you as the single parent, you're having to deal with the fact that this person left, this man left, this woman left, and also having to take care of these kids. And these kids are sitting there looking at you. What do you think is going through their heads? If you have sisters, cousins, whatever, they have kids. Your child is growing up with his or her cousins, your nephews and nieces. They may have both parents there. What is your child thinking? How are they processing that? For me, I always like to refer to me. I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made was assuming that, you know, because my son grew up with my nephews and nieces, his cousins. So I thought everything is fine. He is fine. And as for the male figure, my brothers were there, my father, but that fatherly figure is still not there. That's a gap that we should just acknowledge that gap, that and not feel guilty about it because that person is not there. So instead of trying to be father, mother, just be the single parent who is present, who is loving. Because you can never be the father. I mean, when I look at myself, for example, raising a son, that's not easy because I know the stages in a girl's life. From being a young girl to being a young woman, I know what happens during those stages. And for a man, I have no idea. Even if I did it in school in biology, it's different. Excuse me. It is different when it's now happening in real time. So it takes that fatherly figure to be there. And we go through emotions, we go through all these things that affect us every single day of our lives, and kids are watching. So if you're raising a girl and you are a man, the way we handle pressure, the way we handle whatever, it's different from the way men do it. So imagine trying to raise a girl like a man, trying to raise a man, a boy, same way that you do as a woman. There is always going to be a gap. There is always going to be a gap, and which just brings me to something I didn't want to say, but I'll just put it out there that we as adults, before we make these life-changing decisions for our children, let's think about it. Okay, let me say before we have children, maybe let me say it like that, because the roller coaster of emotions and mental health issues that we put through these children, I think we really need to think about these children before we do certain things. Do you know, I was reading something somewhere that a lot of these kids will ask themselves this question: is my other parent not here because of me? I was stunned. I was so surprised. But the study said that they won't say it. They won't ask you. They will just have that in their heads, and they'll find their own answers, which can be damaging to them in the long run. Imagine a child having to bear that burden. I think as adults, we really need to think, even young people coming up, we need to get our ducks in a row about this thing. I think we definitely need to do that. And kids have an identity issue. They wonder, do I look like the other parent? My personality? They just have a lot of questions, let me say that. They have to grow up fast. They have to really mature fast, because also they don't want to let you down as the single parent, and they also try to cover up for the parent who is not there. They become protective of their parents. And when they do this, a lot of times we misread it. We misread it, and then we label them as something else. When I saw that article, I said to myself, why didn't I see this years ago? I would have done things differently. But then I thought, let me share it with somebody. Somebody might actually benefit if their kids are still young. Even if they're older, at least you are aware, you have that awareness. You know, these kids, honestly, when I think about it, it just breaks my heart, honestly. Honestly, they have to deal with rejection. You can imagine, for us older people, it's not easy to be rejected. It's not to be abandoned. But these kids have to deal with that. Yes, I know as a single parent, you're trying to cover that gap. But they see it. They see it. They can see that the other parent is not there. The other kids in school talk about mom and dad, but this child either talks about mom only or dad only. So that gap is there. It just breaks my heart to think that we do this. We put our kids through this through our actions. Through our actions. I mean, people are single parents for various reasons. But those that can be avoided, I think people should just reconsider. People should just at least not be selfish. Think of the children. Yes, you might be hurting, you might be heartbroken, but the kids are affected. Kids see it, you know. So I honestly just wanted to share this, and I think what I can leave with you is, let's try and make a connection with these kids. Like, you know, asking like, what am I missing about this situation? What is this child really feeling? What are they going through? Are they hurting? Because they're obviously in this situation. And another thing that we do, even as families, relatives, society at large, same thing with the single parents, we like to label them. And when they do certain things, we're already judgmental. It happens even with these kids. And mind you, there's certain behaviors that we don't understand, but they are communication. They behave in a certain way because they're communicating. I saw where they were saying that some kids can act out. And when they do that, they're communicating, they're saying, hey, I need direction. I don't feel safe. But they don't know how to express it. And a lot of times we take it as, oh, they're just being naughty. You know, we take it as naughtiness. But we never really get to understand that this child, no child wants freedom. I don't think so. Children need direction. It's a cry for help. But a lot of times we don't think like that. We start labeling before we even understand what is going on with this child. So let's try to have, like I said, finding out what exactly is going on with this child. That way, I think we'll have a better understanding. You know, I've heard a saying that, kids from single parents, they want special treatment. That's exactly what that article was saying, that we misread. It's not special treatment. People say, oh, they're not special. In a way, they are special because their situation is different. They're not special, I agree, but their situation is far from a normal situation where you have both parents. So it's just something that I think as a society, as families, as parents, relatives, as church leaders, teachers, we should just be aware. We should just be aware that these children are also going through something. They actually have trauma. And it makes it worse when we then say, that's why your father left you, that's why your mother ran off, that's why you're this. Oh my gosh. What do you think it's doing to that child? I'm going to leave you with that question. So guys, if you have experiences that you've had, if you're a single, a child, if you're a child raised by a single parent, please let me know in the comments. Let us know some of your experiences. If you're a single mom who has been noticing things as well that you think and you feel you should have known, please share in the comments. Would love to know what others are going through, and you might help somebody out there. If this is something that you like, please like this video and drop me a comment. Tell me what you think and tell me what you want me to bring you in the future. And also don't forget to share with your friends and families. Until the next one, bye.